Liverpool spent £450 million in the sum of the biggest transfer window investment in Premier League history. They didn't just buy talent, they bought superstardom. Hugo Ekitike, Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak.
Phil, that's given away by McCarthy. Isak! Welcome to the new world. The new world of Alexander Isak and Liverpool Football Club.
Jeremy Frimpong. Milos Kerkez. And Giovanni Leone. The list so stacked, it looked more like a Champions League all-star draft than a recruitment drive. Twice they broke the Premier League transfer record in the same window. Twice they promised to rewrite the future of English football. And yet, this Liverpool side looks broken. This was supposed to be the most terrifying version of Liverpool. In the modern era, defending champions, winners of last season's title by 10 points, rebuilt under Arne Slot with a squad deeper, faster and more intelligent than ever.
I see Liverpool is an unbelievable team. They are in every single match they perform very good, and they have a strong team. It's really unbelievable also the power of them. The coach did a great job, a really great job, and this is at the moment.
The Dutch coach had brought tactical sophistication, pressing precision and attacking flair back to Anfield. Mohamed Salah still led the line like a machine. Virgil van Dijk still commanded the back line.
Joelinton. Here is Cher in this much more advanced role. Trying his luck, but Van Dijk able to block.
Ryan Gravenberch, Alexis McAllister, Dominic Szoboszlai, Cody Gakpo, all in their primes, all world class. On paper, this should be a dynasty, but reality tells a different story. Liverpool enter the October international break, having lost 3 consecutive matches across all competitions, the first time that's happened under Arne Slot.
Probably for Liverpool more than any other club, Arne Slot doesn't know his best 11. Should Florian Wirtz start? Should Florian Wirtz not start? Who should start at left back? Who should start at right back? You look at last season, Arne Slot was criticized for playing the same players week in and week out, and it got him success, but then they burnt out. I see a manager that's almost going the opposite way of thinking, uh-oh, wait a second, we got burnt out at the end of the season. The expectation is for me to deliver. He's mixing and matching a bit too much, and this team is losing the essence of who they are.
The defending champions look disjointed, drained and dangerously predictable. The spark that made them unstoppable just a few months ago has flickered out. How? How does a team this talented, this expensive, this meticulously built, suddenly look so fragile? The collapse can't be explained by one factor alone. Injuries, sure. They've had a few. Suspensions. Yes, that too.
Ekitike, ya la invoco, lo van a echar, lo van.
But the lot runs deeper. The chemistry isn't there. The pressing looks half-hearted. The midfield that was once Liverpool's engine has turned into an open door, and the new stars Wirtz and Isak haven't yet justified their record-breaking fees. The truth is, this Liverpool side doesn't look like a champion. They look like a team searching for one. So the question must be asked, and not as clickbait, but as a genuine football question. How bad are Liverpool, actually? Because when a £450 million project starts losing its shape this quickly, it's no longer about bad form, it's about something else. There's a growing noise around Florian Wirtz, and it's getting louder every week. The £116 million signing, The man who was supposed to be the jewel of Liverpool's new era has suddenly become the symbol of everything that's going wrong at Anfield.
Really bothered by Florian Wirtz. It's concerning that he has not hit the ground running at all. Look, we all know he's a talent, but Florian Wirtz, every week that goes by and he hasn't found his feet or looking like he's getting brighter, he's actually gone backwards since the start of the season.
When Liverpool broke the British transfer record to bring him in, fans expected fireworks. After all, this was the prodigy who had run Bayer Leverkusen's title-winning machine, the creative brain of Xabi Alonso's revolution. But in England, things haven't clicked. 3 consecutive defeats against Crystal Palace, Galatasaray and Chelsea have exposed the cracks, and Wirtz is right at the centre of the storm. Wayne Rooney didn't mince words. He actually damages the balance of how Liverpool play, he said bluntly on his BBC podcast. Jamie Carragher went further, calling for Wirtz to be dropped. He's just not at the races at all. Right now, he needs to come out of the team. The problem isn't just that Wirtz is struggling. It's that his arrival seems to have unbalanced a system that was once Liverpool's greatest strength.
Right now, I don't think the balance of the team is right, and the obvious one that stands out right now is Florian Wirtz. He's just not at the races at all. He's a young boy coming into a new league. He's got plenty of time to go as a Liverpool player, but right now, I think he needs to come out of the team. Liverpool get back to what they were last season and then go from there and try and build some confidence and build some defensive solidity, because right now it just looks a mess.
Arne Slot built his football around structure, pressing and positional fluidity. Wirtz thrives on freedom. He wants the ball constantly. He drifts into zones, he improvises. At Leverkusen, that chaos worked. In the Premier League, it's stalling the entire rhythm. To an extent, Wirtz is a victim of his own price tag. No one talks about patience when you cost £116 million. You're supposed to dominate instantly. But he's 21 in a new country, learning a new system and adapting to teammates who move differently, press differently, and play under a microscope that never blinks. He insists the pressure doesn't bother him. But in football, confidence is everything, and right now, he looks short. When Liverpool were winning their opening 5 matches, his quiet performances were overlooked. But now, after a trio of defeats, every missed touch, every slow pass, every lost duel becomes evidence of failure. Arne Slot is trying everything to make Florian Wirtz fit, but the more he moves him around, the less he seems to play. Against Crystal Palace, the German was pushed to the left of a front 3, with the freedom to drift inside a rare tactical tweak for Liverpool's usually rigid structure. The idea was to free Wirtz, to let him find pockets and dictate play. Instead, it backfired. Liverpool lost 2-1, and Wirtz looked completely detached from the game. 3 days later, Slot restored him to his natural habitat, the number 10 role for the Champions League clash in Istanbul. But again, Florian Wirtz struggled to impose himself. It wasn't for lack of effort. It was a problem of rhythm, of connection. The German looked like he was going to win the game, but he didn't. He was thinking 2 plays ahead in a team that's still 1 play behind. That's the story of his Liverpool debut so far. Flashes of brilliance surrounded by long silences. In the 3-2 win over Atletico Madrid at Anfield, his quality was undeniable. Elegant touches, vertical passes, little smart movements that hinted at what could come. But those moments have been isolated, not sustained. Against Galatasaray, he produced 2 passes that deserved an assist. One, releasing Alexander Isak, who shot too early, and another pass finding Conor Bradley, whose header went wide.
And an opportunity there, miscued header from Conor Bradley.
The vision was there, the precision was there, but the finish never came. That pattern has repeated itself in almost every match. He even registered an assist in the Community Shield back in August.
Shoot. free for you, but that lad there, Wirtz, created a big problem for Bournemouth defensively. Ekitike is a player who'll run in behind, but he'll drop deep. And McAllister can just play that little ball into the space there and allow Ekitike to try and drive at the defence.
But in competitive fixtures, he's become the poster boy of the 007 meme. 0 goals, 0 assists in his first 7 Liverpool appearances, now 8. It's not that he isn't creating. He's generated 21 chances in all competitions, as many as Jack Grealish at Everton. But the quality of those chances tells a different story. His expected assists total only 1.4, meaning that while he's busy, he's not dangerous. Look closer, and you see the frustration. Against Atletico, Mohamed Salah hit the post after a perfect through ball from Wirtz. In the same match, Jeremy Frimpong completely missed a sitter that could have sealed the game. Against Palace, Wirtz got into scoring positions himself, but failed to convert the chance to a goal. And again, Salah missed a goal after a super pass from Wirtz versus Chelsea. The problem isn't just efficiency, it's effectiveness. Wirtz is doing what a playmaker should do. Find spaces, link lines, deliver passes. But in Liverpool's high-intensity transition-based system, he looks like a classical number 10 trapped in a Red Bull-style machine. He's busy, yes, but not influential. Creative, yes, but not clinical enough. And when you cost £116 million, almost doesn't count. If anything, the Florian Wirtz situation highlights just how brutal the Premier League can be for even the most gifted players.
Wirtz, when he came on, I was disappointed with him. I said after a few weeks ago on this podcast, after the Arsenal game, again, he looked very, very immature in his knowledge of how to play the game. The players who play that game, you know, that position really well, and he's obviously got massive talent. His first touch when he came on was amazing, and Salah should have scored. But I just see him sort of jogging around and sort of jogging towards players, and I see him going too deep when he should.
The physicality of English football has exposed a side of his game that simply didn't need to exist in Germany. Too often, he's been nudged off the ball by defenders who are stronger, faster, and more ruthless. He delays his shots, second-guesses his passes, and that split-second hesitation, the one he could afford in the Bundesliga, now gets him swallowed alive in the Premier League. He's also a very different number 10 from the man he replaced, Dominik Szoboszlai. The Hungarian thrives on aggression, pressing and vertical power.
That's a lovely ball for Szoboszlai. Oh, it's outstanding. What a goal from Dominik Szoboszlai.
Wirtz thrives on rhythm, creativity and tempo control. Arne Slot's Liverpool was built on intensity, not artistry. And when you remove that pressing machine and replace it with a pure playmaker, something breaks. Last season, Luis Diaz and Szoboszlai were the first line of the press, relentless, physical and synchronised. Now that front pressure is gone.
The ball into the middle, the Nunez ball is on now, so they're taking the low road. Oh!
Diaz left for Bayern Munich. And now the trio of Wirtz, Isak and Ekitike are still learning how to defend from the front. The result? Liverpool's pressing structure. The foundation of their success has collapsed. But let's be clear, Wirtz isn't Liverpool's only problem. The entire attack looks dulled. Mohamed Salah and Cody Gakpo are nowhere near their best form. Isak, still working on his fitness after missing pre-season, hasn't reached rhythm. And behind them, Alexis McAllister, the man meant to set Liverpool's tempo, hasn't completed a full 90 minutes since April. Yes, Wirtz keeps moving, finding spaces, calling for passes, but his teammates rarely find him. His touches per 90 minutes are drastically lower than at Leverkusen. Maybe they don't see him. Maybe they don't trust that his smaller 5'9" frame can handle contact. Or maybe they're still learning how to read a player who sees the game differently. What's clear is that his role has changed completely. At Leverkusen, Wirtz operated high between the lines, the creative heart of a fluid system. At Liverpool, his heat map looks scattered, his actions spread too wide, his influence diluted. His best moment comes only when space opens up, usually in transitions when the chaos gives him oxygen. We saw flashes against Arsenal, Burnley and Atletico Madrid, moments when he carried the ball forward, cut through lines and looked like himself again. But those glimpses are isolated in a sea of structural confusion. Because Liverpool's problems run far deeper than Florian Wirtz. The issue isn't just an out-of-form midfielder, it's a system that's been decoded. Opponents have studied Arne Slot's Liverpool and figured out how to break their structure apart. And that is where things start to get truly worrying. Liverpool's biggest weapon last season was their ability to slice through pressure, like a hot knife through butter. Under Arne Slot, they could beat any press, advance through the thirds, and turn defence into attack in seconds. And at the centre of it all was Ryan Gravenberch. The Dutchman's long strides, press resistance and composure under fire made him the launch pad of every Liverpool attack. When opponents pressed high, Gravenberch carried the ball through them. When they sat deep, he became the bridge between defence, attack and creativity. For a time it was unstoppable, but football evolves and now rivals have figured out the code. Against Crystal Palace, Arne Slot tried something new. Gravenberch operated deeper, with Curtis Jones acting as a temporary number 10 to draw markers away. It worked in flashes, but when Palace pressed with three narrow forwards, Liverpool's rhythm broke. Then came Galatasaray, who executed the plan to perfection. They baited the pass into Ryan Gravenberch, cut off all short outlets and pounced the moment he received it. Ilkay Gundogan curved his run to deny Alisson the recycle pass. Victor Osimhen blocked the centre-backs and Lucas Torreira jumped in to steal the ball cleanly. The sequence ended with Gravenberch dragging Osimhen down and getting a yellow card. Danger averted, but message received. Opponents now know where to strike. Chelsea took it one step further. Enzo Fernandez and Malo Gusto man-marked Gravenberch and McAllister, suffocating Liverpool's midfield spine. Each time Gravenberch received the ball, he was already under pressure a second late. A pass delayed and the move died. He tried going long to Salah, but Chelsea's backline anticipated everything. Part of the issue lies in the build-up mechanics. Milos Kerkez has replaced Andy Robertson on the left, but the Hungarian isn't the daring passer his predecessor was. On the right, Jeremy Frimpong and Conor Bradley can carry the ball, but neither has Trent Alexander-Arnold's ability to step into midfield and dictate play. Without those triggers, Liverpool's possession looks slower, more hesitant, less fluid. In one telling moment, Gravenberch dropped between the centre-backs, an Arne Slot adjustment meant to progress play. But instead of threading the line-breaking pass that defined Liverpool's 2024-25 rhythm, Konate hesitated and recycled sideways. The entire move, the rotations, the space, evaporated. That's the story now. Half a second slower, half a metre shorter, half as dangerous. Rivals have watched, analysed and dismantled Slot structure. They press Gravenberch earlier, close passing lanes quicker, and dare Liverpool's defenders to build through other routes. When those routes don't exist, the Reds stall. Scoring first has become crucial for opponents, because once Liverpool fall behind, teams can sit deeper, absorb pressure, and choke the transitions that used to define Slot's machine. The Chelsea match showed that adaptation is possible. Slot's tweaks worked late on. But there's no denying it, the blueprint has been broken. And if Liverpool want to stay among the elite, they will need to rewrite it from scratch after the international break. When Mohamed Salah said at the end of last season that his defensive responsibilities had been reduced under Arne Slot, it sounded like smart management free the star attacker, keep him fresh, and maximise his output. For a while, it worked beautifully. Liverpool's right side was pure dynamite, but football moves fast. What was once a tactical advantage has now become an open wound. Opponents have studied it, exploited it, and weaponised it. Every manager in England knows that the space between Salah and his right back is where Liverpool can be hurt. Against Chelsea, that weakness was a goldmine. Marc Cucurella used that channel as his escape route all game, progressing possession almost uncontested. He even admitted post-match that it was part of their plan. We knew that side would give us room to play. And he was right. Salah still presses, but only in flashes. He starts the shape, triggers the movement, and then stops tracking. When you're 33, you can't be everywhere at once.
You have to work really hard to reach a certain level, and then it's very hard in football because you also play against very good teams to keep that level. Last week there's hardly been any training time. If the result would have been better today with a draw or a win, which was both possible, I don't say we deserved it, then we would have had a great start to the season if you take into account everything that what happened in the summer in Liverpool.
The international break comes at the perfect time, probably for Liverpool more than any other club. Arne Slot doesn't know his best 11. Should Florian Wirtz start? Should Florian Wirtz not start? Who should start at left back? Who should start at right back? You look at last season, Arne Slot was criticized for playing the same players week in and week out, and it got him success, but then they burnt out. I see a manager that's almost going the opposite way of thinking, uh-oh, wait a second, we got burnt out at the end of the season. The expectation is for me to deliver. He's mixing and matching a bit too much, and this team is losing the essence of who they are.
But in Arne Slot's system, the right wing has always been a defensive hinge, and now that hinge is breaking. The trade-off is supposed to be obvious. Let Salah rest defensively so he can explode offensively. The problem? He's not delivering. The numbers are down, the explosiveness isn't there, and the fear factor, that aura of inevitability when he cuts inside, feels muted. Last season, Dominic Szoboszlai made that plan work. His energy, his pressing, his coverage of Salah's defensive zone, all of it balanced the system. He did the dirty work that allowed Salah to cheat forward. But now, with Szoboszlai deeper and the likes of Florian Wirtz, Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike trying to adjust to Slot's structure, the entire front unit feels disjointed. What made last year's Liverpool terrifying was their synchronised press. Diaz and Szoboszlai leading from the front, timing everything perfectly, forcing turnovers that fueled transitions. That fragility was brutally exposed against Chelsea. The goal from Moises Caicedo didn't come from some intricate build-up. It came from a basic, almost lazy defensive lapse. One simple switch of play, down Liverpool's right, one quick overload and the champions were undone. Salah's reduced workload was meant to keep Liverpool lethal. Instead, it has made them lopsided. For the first time since taking charge at Anfield, Arne Slot's substitutions are facing real scrutiny. The Dutch tactician, known for his boldness and tactical creativity, has built his reputation on proactivity changing games from the bench rather than reacting to them. But lately, his gambles have begun to backfire. The decision to withdraw Alexander Isak in the 74th minute at Stamford Bridge raised eyebrows across England. Yes, the Swede is still regaining rhythm after a chaotic transfer window robbed him of a full pre-season. But just as he was starting to influence the game, he was taken off. In a match crying out for presence in the box, removing your most dangerous forward, felt counterintuitive. Equally puzzling was the decision not to introduce Federico Chiesa, arguably Liverpool's most explosive weapon off the bench, and instead drop Ryan Gravenberch to defence when chasing a goal. Slot's logic that a midfielder at centre-back increases tempo and possession control made sense in theory. Against Crystal Palace it worked. Liverpool dominated, pinned them back and pressed high, but Chelsea were not Palace. The game was tight, physical and full of transitional traps. What Liverpool needed was solidity, not experimentation. A simple like-for-like swap, Konate for Joe Gomez, would have stabilised the backline while maintaining attacking balance. Instead, the reshuffle opened holes everywhere, and the same defensive fragilities that haunted them a week earlier reappeared. Slot's fearless pursuit of victory is part of this job. He refuses to settle and refuses to play safe. But lately, that approach has caused Liverpool points. And this isn't the Slot of last year, the one whose bench was his secret weapon. Back then, he used Gomez as a closer to lock down leads and rotated his fullbacks like a chess master to shift the rhythm of games. This season, his changes feel experimental, forced, disconnected. The early signs of the campaign suggested the opposite. Substitutes like Chiesa and Rion Gumoha were decisive, turning matches with energy and purpose. But in recent weeks, that spark has faded. The timing of his substitutions, the roles of his replacements, the balance of the system, all have drifted from the meticulous Slot blueprint that delivered the Premier League title. Liverpool's problems aren't terminal, they're transitional. What we're seeing isn't the fall of a champion, but the turbulence that comes with transformation. 7 new signings, a reshaped attack, and the departure of key pillars like Luis Diaz have created instability in rhythm and chemistry. Yes, Florian Wirtz is struggling to adapt. Yes, Isak is still finding his feet, but these are growing pains, not symptoms of decline. The truth? Liverpool aren't bad. They're still the reigning champions of England, a team brave enough to do what few elite clubs dare, rebuild while on top. Slot is tearing down and reassembling a winning structure, not because it's broken, but because he wants to future-proof it. He's building something designed not just to win another Premier League title, but to create a dynasty. A Liverpool that will dominate England and maybe, just maybe, Europe too. The question, how bad are Liverpool actually, might soon have a very different answer. What are your thoughts and opinions on this?